Welcome back. It is time for Daybreak in 10 on Color 10.
Which means we are on the air with you commercial free for the next 10 minutes beginning right now. And first, let's head on over to meteorologist Elisa Raffa with our forecast. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning. We are starting out with some wet roads in Springfield after storms came through overnight. They've really dissipated, though, and exited to the east. We're left with just some clouds in Springfield this morning. It is 72 degrees with dew points around 71. You can see coverage and storms have decreased. You've got a couple of left over near the Fort Leonard Wood area with some locally heavy rain and lightning, but the rest of us are dry with just some clouds this morning. It's 73 degrees in Branson, 72 in Springfield, and 72 degrees in Camdenton. And of course, that's coming with some humidity. So at the pool today, you'll have some showers and storms possible. We'll keep skies partly cloudy. Temperatures up around 90 degrees again today. As you fire up the grill, we'll keep a storm chance, especially to the south of Springfield. And then we'll stay muggy through the evening hours. So a couple of showers and storms to the south and east of Springfield today. We're dry and warm overnight tonight. And then by tomorrow, a couple of showers and storms possible again with that high around 91 degrees. So we keep a storm chance through today and tomorrow with some seasonal heat around 90 degrees. Then maybe a storm or two on Friday. We start to transition into a hotter and drier pattern. By Friday, the storm chances start to take a hit because more extreme heat will return by the weekend. You're looking at those temperatures back in the middle 90s, feeling like 100 to 105. So overall staying hot, temperatures around 90 today and tomorrow. Hotter going into the weekend with temperatures back into the middle 90s. Then storm chances return by the start of next week. So you'll have some storm chances return by Tuesday, but the weekend will be dry. Joe, Jen.
New this morning, an investigation underway into what caused a house fire earlier today on the 700 block of East Pacific Street around Washington Park in North Springfield. The battalion chief on scene there says the home has been heavily damaged. Crews have been able to clear the first floor, but have not been able to make it to the second floor due to the severity of that damage. The chief said as of now, it's unclear if the home was occupied. We're going to continue to follow this story. We're bringing more updates as we get them today.
We want to take one last look at some power outages in the Springfield area. This is the city utilities outage map. Almost 1,000 customers are without power right now. At one point this morning, that number was over 1,500. The big focal point here is that orange area you see. That's Northwest Springfield, showing almost 800 people without power. The purple areas scattered around the city refer to less than 50 customers without power. We'll keep following this map throughout the morning as repairs are made.
In just under 2 weeks, Missourians will be voting on whether to expand Medicaid in the state after thousands were dropped from coverage last year. If passed, people between the ages of 19 and 64 would need to make about $17,000 a year or less. As a family, you need to make $36,000 or less annually. This vote would expand the number of people eligible for it. Dr. Dan Ponder with Drury University says expansion would make it easier for many of the people dropped from Medicaid last year to get back on it again.
So yeah, it should be easier for people who were dropped from Medicaid to get back onto it because, like I said, it does greatly expand the number of people who are available, particularly pretty much anyone who meets those income requirements between the ages of 19 and 64. We already have it for 65 and above, and then for some other categories. But that's really where I think the biggest thing would come.
People opposed to Medicaid expansion say it's too expensive and would be a bigger tax increase. This is on the August 4th primary ballot. If approved, it would go into effect July 1st of next year.
News from around the Ozarks. Forsyth City Council unanimously approved a masking ordinance that will go into effect today. It means face coverings and masking signage are at all businesses inside Forsyth city limits or on land owned or managed by the city. The city says one of the reasons for this is the number of COVID-19 cases in Taney County increased by more than 100 in 6 weeks.
Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson says the state is working hard on addressing the legitimate concerns teachers have about going back to school this fall, but says it's important that kids start back on dates that are already set. During his briefing, Hutchinson showed a national video that included 5 pediatric infectious disease specialists saying they would send their children to school this fall. Some in Northwest Arkansas agree, even with the current coronavirus numbers the state is seeing.
I believe that I would feel comfortable sending them.
I think as of right now, I would definitely feel safe for my children going to school.
Both those doctors there that you just saw agree evidence suggests it's rare for children to develop serious complications from COVID-19. At this point, it's more important for kids to be in school than to not be.
We're worried right now about the kids academically, their social, emotional development, the rates of abuse that in the cases that are being missed.
The doctors do recognize there's concern for teacher safety, but say they will trust the state trust that the state will do everything it can to ensure educators are protected.
Bentonville students will have to add face masks to their school shopping list. In a 6-1 vote, board members passed a resolution that requires face coverings be worn on school property when social distancing is impossible. The emergency policy also requires anyone who enters a school building be screened for COVID-19 daily. While board president Eric White says these face masks will be an important tool, he says social responsibility will be most effective in preventing COVID-19 from spreading into the classroom.
If you're sick, stay home. If you've been exposed, stay home. Don't send your kids to school if they have symptoms. And that could be the single most important thing, irrespective of masks, irrespective of the extra sanitization.
This resolution applies to all K-12 students and staff.
In some news around America for you, demonstrators returned to downtown Portland last night for a 54th straight night of protests. For nearly 2 months, protesters have called for racial justice and an end to police brutality in Portland, Oregon. Law enforcement used tear gas and other crowd control munitions to break up those large crowds.
Around the world, 23 abducted minors were rescued from a house in southern Mexico. The children range in age from 3 months to 15 years. They were abducted from their families and forced to sell crafts in the streets. 3 women have been arrested on human trafficking and forced labor charges.
An earthquake with a preliminary magnitude of 7.8 has struck off the coast of Alaska earlier today. It was centered 60 miles southeast of Perryville there. It's considered shallow at about 6 miles deep. A tsunami warning had been issued following that earthquake, but has since been canceled.
We have a traffic alert for you now. A portion of St. Louis Street will close overnight tonight. This is happening between Jefferson Avenue and Kimbrough Avenue and begins at 10 p.m. tonight. Crews expect to have it back open by 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. In more local news now, Missouri Job Center will host another drive-through job fair this Thursday. That's tomorrow from 9:30 to 11:30. Employers will be there to discuss job opportunities, and job seekers are encouraged to fill out applications online before attending the job fair. But if you can't do that, you should bring resumes with you. For a list of employers who will be at the fair, head on over to ozarksfirst.com.
On the topic of voting, the deadline to request an absentee or mail-in ballot for the August 4th election is today. It's July 22nd. You can request an absentee ballot either by mail or by a fillable form on Greene County's website. Just another reminder for you, though, all mail-in ballots must be notarized.
Now here's a look at what's coming up after Daybreak.
Coming up, as the U.S. reports one of its highest single-day death tolls from coronavirus, we look at how some local officials are responding. Plus, what's behind an alarming drop in the worldwide shark population. Coming up on CBS This Morning.
All right, so we're talking about that 7.8 earthquake that happened that caused the tsunami warning. Not happening now, though, right?
Right. The tsunami warning was canceled. And the reason why they needed to issue a tsunami warning is because the center of the earthquake was in the water. So that shakes around the ocean and pushes it on shore. That's what a tsunami is.
Boy.
You can hear the sirens. You hear them?
Yes. And even though it was a shallow earthquake, those are most dangerous, right? Can cause most damage.
It'll move the ocean around. So, yeah. None of that here, though. Hot with some storms out there today.
All right, everyone, stay cool when you can. Thanks for starting off your morning with us on Daybreak.